Boom. All right, what's going on to you guys? It's Royce Jacob. Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I want to give you guys my current thoughts on MicroStrategy stock, or ticker symbol MSTR, after they just crushed their earnings for having Bitcoin on their balance sheet. So I've talked about this stock a few times in the past, but if you're not familiar, MicroStrategy is a cloud computing company that's recently gained a lot of popularity for adding over $400 million of Bitcoin onto their balance sheet. And that is the reason they really impressed on earnings today. Of course, we'll talk about that. But as many of you guys know, I've never been more bullish on Bitcoin than I am at this moment in time. So I'm always super excited to share these companies with you guys and just talk about the bullish case for not only Bitcoin, but for Bitcoin related stocks like MicroStrategy. As always, we'll go over each topic that we're going to be discussing, and then we'll dive into each one individually. In front of us, of course, TradingView. I will let you guys know what I'm thinking in terms of future potential price action. The technicals today are super simple. I'm sure you can tell that by the chart. There's not many lines here. I have very little drawings here. I think it's very straightforward, which is the beauty of this. So MicroStrategy technicals look great, very simple but good. But the primary driver for MicroStrategy is, of course, their fundamentals and the fact they have Bitcoin on their balance sheet. So let's dive into that. In terms of news, we will, of course, talk about their earnings. MicroStrategy tops Q3 earnings and revenue estimates. So they didn't just impress on earnings. We're talking like a multi-thousand percentage beat on their earnings as far as the analyst estimates went. So we will cover this. Very impressive here. We will then move on to MicroStrategy's crypto holdings may be paying off more than its business. So the primary message I want to get across in this video, you guys, is the power of having an appreciating asset like Bitcoin on your balance sheet, okay? In a world where trillions of dollars are being printed by the US government, not only our government, but if you live in the US, of course, but governments around the world are printing trillions in their own fiat currencies. This will ultimately devalue their currency, and Bitcoin is an absolutely digitally scarce asset. So it's absolutely scarce. Only 18 million in existence, 18.5 million, I should say, in existence right now. There will only ever be 21 million. That cannot change. That will not change. And that's what makes Bitcoin so the obvious choice if you're going to put something that will retain your wealth, that will store your value on your balance sheet. Okay, so MicroStrategy really ahead of the curve here. Obviously, companies like Square and Blackstone did recently add to a large sum of Bitcoin to their balance sheet as well. But MicroStrategy, again, they were the first to do it. So I think this company has so much potential. We'll talk about this, and then the last article we will talk about is MicroStrategy is looking to buy more Bitcoin, President says. So obviously, Bitcoin's going up. They were the first to do it. They've already, the $425 million of Bitcoin that they bought has already appreciated significantly because they bought it a couple months back. And in a world where Bitcoin is appreciating in value, why wouldn't you want to add more to your balance sheet? Okay, so MicroStrategy, they're thinking the right way. They're ahead of the curve, and that's why I really respect them so much. And again, why I'm very happy to make this analysis and share this company with you guys if you're not familiar. Of course, before we do get into it though, I will ask you guys to please give the video a like if you do go on to gain value from it, or if you're in MicroStrategy already. Again, we've been talking about this on the channel. Shout out to the portfolio newsletter group because we were definitely early on this one. Feel very good. It always feels good to be validated. The money's great, but it feels good to be right and know that you're thinking in the right direction. So again, give the video a like if you do go on to gain value from it. Really appreciate that. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here and want to catch more content like this. We'll definitely be following MicroStrategy and other Bitcoin stocks. And of course, check out my complete portfolio and daily newsletter if you want to know exactly how I'm personally not only trading MicroStrategy, but literally every call option, put option, stock position, cryptocurrency position in my entire portfolio. Every day I do update that every trading day, and I do send out an email newsletter to your inbox every trading day during market hours, rationalizing my trades as well as giving you guys just my thoughts about whatever I feel is important to know in the macroeconomic backdrop, any important news, go across every sector, and it's just whatever I feel is important that I want to share with you guys. Okay, so first link in the description if you want to check that out. I really appreciate it if you do. If not, no worries though. Let's get into this analysis. All right, so again, we will, of course, you guys, we will save the technicals for last. We got to cover the fundamentals first, but I will say, once again, technicals look very promising. Super simple, but promising. So MicroStrategy tops Q3 earnings. Let's take a look at these numbers real quick here on all these articles, okay? I will just get this. You guys can always go do your own due diligence. I do highly recommend you guys do your own research after this video if you're thinking about investing, but we're just going to get the highlights here. So MicroStrategy came out with quarterly earnings of $2.06 per share, beating the Zacks consensus estimate of 4 cents per share. So that's a big beat. This compares to earnings of 94 cents per share a year ago. These figures are adjusted for non-recurring items. This quarterly report represents an earnings surprise of 5,050%. So that's a staggering beat, you guys. That's a crazy beat. 5,000% is probably one of the most impressive earnings beats I've seen, and I do look at a lot of these, you guys. And a 5,000% beat it's rare you see that. Okay, so that's great, but let's get into why. So MicroStrategy's crypto holdings may be paying off more than its business with Bitcoin's rise. With Bitcoin's rise past $13,000, little typo in there, $13,700, the company's BTC holdings are currently worth more than $525 million. Turner Wright of Cointelegraph. Business intelligence firm MicroStrategy's Bitcoin investment is paying off in a big way with an estimated $100 million in profit. That's huge for a $2 billion company. Keep this in mind, you guys. We'll look at the market cap on the charts after this. According to data published on October 27th by independent crypto researcher Kevin Rook, MicroStrategy has earned more from its Bitcoin investment than it did through its actual business for the last 3 years, from Q1 2017 to Q2 2020. Rook's data shows that the business intelligence firm's 38,250 BTC holdings, worth roughly $425 million at the time of purchase in August and September, were valued at more than $525 million during the recent price surge to $13,740. According to the researcher, MicroStrategy only earned $78 million in net income from its business operations in the last 3.5 years. So keep that in mind, you guys, as well. MicroStrategy, as a cloud computing company, it has its ups and downs. And most recently, it hasn't been doing too well in terms of earnings. But they're smart enough to put Bitcoin on their balance sheet. And I think if you guys have watched me talk about Bitcoin before, you know that I think Bitcoin could easily consume the market cap of gold and reach a $9 trillion market cap over the next 5-10 years, which would take it to a $500,000 Bitcoin price. At $13,000 now, you guys can do the math there. There's a lot of potential upside over the coming years for Bitcoin. Okay, so I don't have anything highlighted here. We'll go over this last article, then we'll take a look at the charts to finish it off. So MicroStrategy is looking to add to its $521 million stash of Bitcoin, the company's president said Tuesday during the business intelligence firm's earnings conference call. So again, that's the earnings call. They said this just today. I was so excited to see this, you guys. Looked on my Robinhood app and in my other portfolio as well to see MicroStrategy doing well. The call options are gonna, shout out to you guys. Let me know down below if you were able to get in on some MicroStrategy call options. Shout out to the portfolio newsletter. Those things are going to pop off tomorrow. But again, let me know if you have been invested in MicroStrategy, if you were early, because the floodgates are open. This is a quote from the CEO during this earnings conference call. We've seen a notable and unexpected benefit from our investment in Bitcoin in elevating the profile of the company in the broader market, Lee said. This is benefiting our reputation overall, raising our mindshare among prospective customers. So this is the big thing again, you guys. Mindshare. Mindshare is a very crucial word, especially in a market environment filled with so much good thing or bad thing, a lot of hype, a lot of retail investors. A brand is super meaningful. That's why I always say look at the website, because the way a company brands themselves in 2020 in this current market environment is so important. Okay, the way a brand is perceived is not only good for the brand itself, but good for prospective investors and customers, like the CEO said here, and I 100% agree with that. This is the best thing they could have done. Obviously, Bitcoin's taken off. The more people learn about Bitcoin, the more they'll learn about stocks related to Bitcoin, the more they'll learn about companies who have added significant portions of Bitcoin to their balance sheet, like MicroStrategy. And obviously, if Bitcoin does well, this company is going to be worth more because they have so much of their balance sheet on Bitcoin. Okay, we'll finish it off here. Take a look at their market cap. So MicroStrategy is actually currently, at the time of recording this, at $185. So it's up about 8% after hours following that earnings call. Actually at its previous high. So it's high actually yesterday before it pulled back, was at $186. The days were really cramping together, you guys. Sorry about that. But they just completely regained everything is shaved off overnight pretty much in this earnings call, and I think it'll go much higher, you guys. To sum this up real quick, I do think MicroStrategy could very easily test this line of resistance on this uptrend that it's been printing since early August. You can see here the first one was at about $144. This second high was at $176, and it only makes sense to me that it'll once again retest this line of resistance on this uptrend, you guys. Super simple, not looking at anything crazy here, you guys, but it's been happening so much. Basic trend lines have proven to me to be the most effective in this market environment. Okay, it kind of makes sense. There's a lot of newer investors in here, so a lot of people are going to be looking at those. But if it does do that, I'm just throwing a number out here, November 13th. Okay, that would bring it, if it tested in November 13th, again, I'm just throwing a random date out there, it could test it at any point in time, but I do ultimately think it will. November 13th, as the example, that would take us to a $227 MicroStrategy, okay? Currently, $185, you're seeing some beautiful appreciation there. And again, you guys, it's worth it, because a company that's this new, and again, the more people learn about this, the more they're going to want to invest in these types of companies. And MicroStrategy, being the pioneer, being the first one to add a significant sum of Bitcoin to their balance sheet, they're a very appealing stock to invest in if you want to play in Bitcoin, at least in the equity markets. Like MicroStrategy, great Bitcoin play in the equity markets that not a lot of people know about yet. So that's the important thing. Maybe after today, after this earnings call, it's going to be on a lot of people's radars. But remember, guys, it's still early. It's still early. If we look at their market cap, this is important too. $1.7 billion market cap. So keep in mind, guys, they have over $500 million of Bitcoin on their balance sheet. That's a lot of liquid. That's a crazy amount of liquid on your balance sheet for being worth less than $2 billion. So that's over 25% of their market cap is in Bitcoin. That's crazy. Even if they're not earning that much, they're such a legacy company that it's okay. Their Bitcoin they have on their balance sheet, you're pretty much investing in that, and that's what you will invest in. And again, that's like you're looking at 25-30% of their entire market cap is in Bitcoin. And again, if Bitcoin goes up, the more Bitcoin appreciates in value, the more stocks like MicroStrategy will be worth, and the more they'll be valued. Okay, so super bullish on this, you guys. Keep in mind, it will not take much capital inflow for this stock to go up. $1.7 billion is still a very small market cap in the grand scheme of things. So if enough traction is built around MicroStrategy, enough retail investors hear about this, it doesn't. That's the beauty of small market caps. That's why we like small market cap stocks so much on the channel, is because it doesn't take much capital and it has that asymmetric return potential. Okay, the upside potential is so much greater than the downside of risk, and we're looking at like, again, 2x, 3x, 5x maybe on these stocks because the market cap is so small. MicroStrategy, $175 may seem expensive to some people who aren't educated, but $1.7 billion, tiny in the grand scheme of things. Okay, so keep that in mind, you guys. Please let me know down below if you guys are excited about MicroStrategy, what cryptocurrency, Bitcoin related stocks you're excited about personally. You guys, I was so pumped. I had to sit down and record this immediately because I was so pumped on this news. And let's just think about what this could do for other stuff. You can see Riot and Marathon Patent Group right here under MicroStrategy on the watch list. We just talked about those as well, just recorded stock talk. So again, you guys, gonna be I'm just so happy that I'm convinced at least that we're in the next phase of the bull market in Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, as well as Bitcoin related stocks. And I'm just so excited to share the journey with you guys. So of course, let me know down below what you're excited about. Let me know if you're invested in MicroStrategy. Let me know, shout out to the newsletter. Let me know if you're in the newsletter and you were able to get in on MicroStrategy. So again, you guys, look forward to talking to you down below. So I'll see you downstairs. Until next time, always remember, take action, make waves. Peace.